Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another event idea video thing. So today I'm going to be doing another event idea for the Simpsons Tapped Out. Now, of course, I did a little vote in the Discord server of which one you wanted to see next. And obviously the one that won was the Springfield Neighbours, so this is the Springfield Neighbours event, if you will. So it's mainly going to be one per act, so we've got Shelbyville, Capital City, Ogdenville, and New Haverbrook. So these are often kind of considered the four places that either border Springfield or are fairly close to Springfield. I know Ogdenville borders Springfield, obviously Shelbyville borders Springfield. New Haverbrook is like a drive away because we see Marge drive there like relatively quickly in the monorail episode. And also Bart drives there in the episode with Darcy. And Capital City is like kind of inconsistent. Like sometimes it's quite far away and sometimes it's fairly close. But all four of these places I would say are reasonably close to Springfield, if not border Springfield. So that's why I'm kind of doing this video. They're at least all in the same state as Springfield. So yeah. This is my kind of idea. And now, like I said, it was voted in the Discord, but honestly, I am done with major events for a week now. Next week, I'm going to definitely be doing a mini event, so the vote's going to change up. There's going to be a few more things in there. I've got loads of events piled up, so it's not a big deal, but quest lines is the thing that I need to finish in all of them. Quest lines takes 10 times longer when I'm doing a major event to when I'm doing a mini event, so obviously I'd rather just do a mini event next week because I'm kind of starting up a new series and I want to focus most of my time on that new series and not as much time on major events. But anyway, starting up, Bart tells Homer that he is bored of being confined to Springfield all the time, but Homer remarks that Springfield is great and Bart doesn't need to leave to find fun. Make Homer look for cool places, make Bart be bored. Homer admits that Springfield, and after you've done that, Homer admits that Springfield is pretty boring and that they should probably visit the neighbouring towns and cities. Quimby tells Homer that this is not possible as every place is hostile to Springfield. Make Springfield demand the borders are opened, like times 3, and this will unlock the event. So all the event currencies, for Act 1 it's going to be lemons, for Act 2 it's going to be gavels, for Act 3 it's going to be barley, and for Act 4 it's going to be like wooden planks, like closed planks I guess if you will. So in the Shelbyville store is going to be Shelby with Shelby's house for 150 donuts. Now, we only briefly see it like kind of in the background as Ned's kind of ramming the gates to get out the lot. But this is the house where Shelby's father kind of comes out the door. So I think it makes sense to add this. You can see it. So it is his house. Of course, it's across the road from the lot that we already obviously have in the game. So I don't know. I think this is probably the best thing to come with Shelby personally. So this is what I'm proposing they add with Shelby for 150 donuts. So Bart gathers Martin, Milhouse, and Nelson to come with him to Shelbyville to explore what it's like. Make Bart, Martin, Milhouse, and Nelson go to Shelbyville and make Springfield visit Shelbyville, and this will unlock the Shelbyville city limit sign, as obviously was in the Lemon of Troy episode. Shelby tells Bart that him and his friends are not welcome in Shelbyville. In fact, no one in the town wants Springfielders on their land. Bart challenges him to a skate off to determine if they can stay, so you make Bart skate, make Nelson use his bully skills to detect weak points, and make Springfielders visit Shelbyville to unlock Pest Buy. So this is a pretty cool building, nice little parody building. I think it's pretty funny. So yeah, you get that in your town. Bart wins, so Shelby agrees that he can stay, but he better not try and sell lemonade like last time. Nelson says screw that and tells everyone that they are making lemonade. So you make Nelson visit Pest Buy, make Nelson supervise the lemonade stand, make Bart make lemonade, make Milhouse help Bart, and make Martin add sugar to make, and then you also have to make Springfielders visit Shelbyville, and this will unlock the lemonade stand. So nothing too amazing. It will literally just be this little table and maybe the cups on the ground as well. You can only maybe place it on grass. Or, yeah, maybe you can place it on concrete as well, but just a simple little stand, nothing too amazing. Shelby tells the group that he warned them and begins to launch an attack. Bart, Milhouse, and Martin escape to Springfield, but Nelson stays back to fight. Make Nelson stand off, make Springfielders visit Shelbyville, and this will unlock the Shelbyville Hospital, which we kind of briefly see. I mean, we only get to see the bottom half of it, but there is another shot of it, like, head on. But it looks just like the hospital in Springfield, apart from it's orange and it has a big sign that says Shelbyville Hospital. So, yeah, they could definitely add this into the game. Be pretty cool to get. So Nelson, in a cast, he's beaten up, is visited by Bart, Martin, and Milhouse, and Bart tells Nelson he's sorry that he lost the fight. And Nelson laughs, saying he won the fight. Bart asks how, and Nelson replies that his weasels, as they moved to Shelbyville after all, helped him win the fight. So Nelson tells Bart that he and the weasels won, and now Springfielders are welcome. See make Nelson recover, make Bart explore Shelbyville freely, and make Springfielders visit Shelbyville, and you unlock the weasels. So there was an episode, quite recent episode, I forget the exact season and episode, and I don't even remember the name of it, but there was an episode where like the bullies and Bart and Nelson go to Shelbyville, and the weasels are there, and Nelson's like, oh yeah, they moved to Shelbyville. So they actually do live in Shelbyville. Now they have actually been seen in Springfield Elementary after that episode, but yeah, they moved to Shelbyville, at least in, I guess you could argue that was canon. So I figured it'd be kind of cool to have them as a final character. Now I know that obviously Shelby's dad is also in the Lemon and Troy episode. He's kind of like a Homer lookalike, and I can understand maybe people wanting him more than the weasels here. But personally, I kind of would like. I was kind of going with a bully, a kind of bully character, and you get a bully character. You get two bully characters as well. So it's kind of the theme of this one is Shelbyville, sure, but it's also kind of bullies. So that's why I kind of wanted to add them instead. But I have got a Shelbyville event in the works, which is a big major event. So maybe one day I'll probably do that video eventually. It's probably going to be a while, but I'll do that video eventually, and we'll talk about it. Anyway, moving on. Capital City. So you get Horace Wilcox with the State Assembly building for 150 donuts. Really, really cool building here. It looks awesome, bright, beautiful. And then obviously you got Horace Wilcox as well, who's he's a one episode character. Obviously he has a heart attack and dies in the episode, and then Krusty takes over his position. But yeah, I think it'd be a cool character to get. So in the questline, Mayor Quimby is told by Maxine Lombard that he is to be impeached. The mayor asks why, and she lists the multiple counts of corruption. The mayor tells her he will fight her in the court for this, so you make Quimby prepare his legal battle, make Springfielders visit Capital City, and this will unlock the Capital City sign, birthplace of capital punishment. So then the trial begins, but Quimby is nowhere to be found. Maxine asks Wiggum to find him, and Wiggum knows exactly where he is. So you make Quimby find a cheap... Oh, sorry, that was meant to be... Make Wiggum find a cheap hotel, make Quimby dodge the trial, make Springfielders visit Capital City, and this will unlock the second best Western hotel. Maxine tells Quimby that enough is enough, and he must answer for his crimes. Obviously, Quimby was sleeping around in a hotel room. He must answer for his crimes. Quimby tells her that he did it all, but only because of the mafia, and it wasn't really his fault. The bribes are so easy. So you make Quimby get grilled, make Mr. Burns watch the grilling, and make Springfielders visit Capital City. This will unlock the goofball statue, which is kind of like, I really love this. I thought this was, it's a kind of an establishing shot. Obviously, you can see it in here. It was an establishing shot of Capital City, but I just love the kind of the parallel to Rio. So I don't know. I think it'd be really awesome to get it. Moving on, Mr. Burns asks what will happen to Quimby, and Maxine tells him that he will be impeached and they will have a new mayor. Mr. Burns' eyes light up, and he asks if Maxine would like to rekindle their fling for old time's sake. Maxine is outraged, and she tells him that she doesn't want to hook up in a cheap hotel, but Burns tells her that he could just buy a whole apartment block instead. So you make Mr. Burns buy property, make Quimby be impeached as mayor, and make Springfielders visit Capital City to unlock the Capital City apartments, which is pretty cool. They look really awesome, huge. I think Milhouse moved here when he moved to, I think he moved to Capital City in an episode, so he moved to these apartments. Anyway, Burns asks Maxine if she could pull some strings and make him the new mayor. Maxine is kind of horrified at first, but he offers her the entire apartment block, which has $1 million in every room of every apartment. So you make Mr. Burns become mayor of Springfield, make Springfielders visit Capital City, and then that obviously unlocks Maxine Lombard. I don't want to be like really disrespectful to the character of Maxine Lombard, but it's difficult because obviously she's like this democratic state assembly woman, but then obviously she has this kind of fling with Mr. Burns, and she starts sacrificing her beliefs. So that was kind of the theme I went with here. I guess I was trying to copy what was established with her character. Anyway, moving on. Ogdenville store. So you obviously have the barley processing plant with Sven for 150 donuts, and I just couldn't resist it. I couldn't fit it into the act quest line, but I just could not resist the closed signs for 40 donuts as a building. Oh, come on. They've got to just throw that into the store, please. Anyway, so now Mr. Burns is mayor. He decides to cut costs at the plant. He needs cheaper labour. Smithers recommends immigrants, but Mr. Burns is against this, as he wants cheaper. Lenny suggests Ogdenville's people, and Mr. Burns likes this idea. Make Mr. Burns plummet the price of barley, make Springfielders visit Ogdenville, and this will unlock the Ogdenville sign. If you've kind of noticed, I've been starting each act with unlocking a sign. That is purposeful. I don't know. I think that would be kind of cool to I guess, start each act. But Smithers tells Burns that a few places have shut down, but the Ogdenvillians are prepared for barley prices tanking, and they're still operational. Make Mr. Barnes savage the barley industry, make Springfielders visit Ogdenville, and this will unlock the History of Barley Museum. Mr. Burns slowly gets Ogdenvilles to come to Springfield, and he starts firing his employees. Homer, Lenny, and Carl are mad, so you make Homer, Lenny, and Carl protest. Make Mr. Burns hire Ogdenvillians, make Springfielders visit Ogdenville, and this will unlock the Ogdenville's Barley Palace, which I think looks really awesome. It's pretty cool looking. Smithers is happy that they finally got hard workers in the power plant, and Mr. Burns agrees, and that is why Smithers is fired. So you make Smithers pack up his stuff, make Mr. Burns hire Smithers' replacement, make Springfielders visit Ogdenville, and this will unlock the barley mill. Now, before I carry on, I know free buildings, extremely unlikely. We're never going to get free buildings in one act. But I will say there were so many goddamn buildings in that little Ogdenville segment. I just couldn't resist. I had to have all of them. So, yeah, it's a little bit unlikely that we'd get all these buildings, but I don't know. It's possible. I mean, they've been generous like this in the past, so I wouldn't say it's entirely impossible that we'd ever get this, but a man can wish. Anyway, Mr. Burns tells Inga. Is it Inga? I always get... I'm sorry to any Scandinavian viewers. Igna, that she is far better than Smithers ever was. Smithers meets with Homer, Lenny, and Carl to figure out a plan to stop Mr. Burns. Lisa suggests that they should clear Quimby's name, as although he's far from perfect, he's far better than Mr. Burns. So he makes Smithers clear Quimby's name, make Lisa help gather evidence, make Maxine look at the evidence, and make Springfielders visit Ogdenville, and this will unlock Igna, obviously as a full playable character. Moving on, New Haverbrook. So I think you could make a full event from Capital City, Shelbyville, and even at a stretch Ogdenville, although I think the Ogdenville one would be kind of, it wouldn't have great characters because they're all these kind of one episode characters. I think Shelbyville is the strongest for sure, then Capital City is the second strongest. Ogdenville is fairly strong for a full major event as well. But the one that I think is just impossible is New Haverbrook. So yeah, this is the New Haverbrook act. I think this is the only one that you couldn't make a full event out of. I guess I just wanted to say that. But anyway, you're going to get the North Haverbrook Courthouse with Darcy for 150 donuts. And in the store is the world's largest moon bounce for 50 donuts. And obviously with the moon bounce we currently have in the game, you can send pretty much every kid character to the moon bounce. Well, with the world's largest moon bounce, you're able to send every adult to the moon bounce. So every single adult can go to this moon bounce. So yeah. Anyway, now Quimby is back in office. He decides to help Ogdenvilles with their barley prices so they can go back home, and he decides to stop letting people in from the neighbouring towns. But Marge stops him, saying that they could always go to New Haverbrook and help out with help out after their disaster with the monorail. So you make Quimby keep the borders open, make Marge visit New Haverbrook, make Springfielders visit New Haverbrook, and this will unlock the New Haverbrook sign. I love the look of this sign. It's just so decrepit, and like the little kind of gaps in this bottom bit here. Man, it looks good. I like it. Anyway, Marge visits Cobb, and he tells her that the town is slowly recovering, but a lot of their commercial industries are still shut down. Make Marge help advertise New Haverbrook businesses, make Springfielders visit New Haverbrook, and this will unlock the rundown Haverbrook Street. Obviously, Marge drives through this street, so just to basically, obviously we've got plenty of buildings like this in the past. The upcoming Little Italy and the Van Houten event, for example, is like this. So it's just a bunch of buildings in a row, and then a road or kind of like a gap in between them. So this will be what you get. So yeah. Marge asks Darcy's parents what else she can do to help the town, and they tell her that much of the destroyed monorail is still cluttering their town. So you make Marge help clean up New Haverbrook, make Springfielders visit New Haverbrook, and this will unlock the destroyed monorail as a decoration. So literally just this maybe like a monorail kind of in the ground, and then this one hanging from the rail. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised we never got this, because it would have been kind of cool to get. Marge tells Cobb that Lyle Lanley really should be held accountable for what he did to this town, and she agrees. So you make Marge track down Lanley, make Springfielders visit New Haverbrook, and this will unlock the Lanley Monorail's trailer, which you can see right here. So this will be a building. Again, kind of surprised we didn't get this, but I guess it probably comes into the fact we didn't get Lyle Lanley. And Lyle tells Marge that it's not his fault that New Haverbrook didn't have their own Marge to figure out his crooked scheme. Wiggum comes out and tells him that Springfield and its neighbours stick together, and he is under arrest. So you make Wiggum arrest Lanley, you make Marge help out New Haverbrook, and make Springfielders visit New Haverbrook, and this will unlock Lyle Lanley. Now I want to say, obviously, Lyle Lanley probably will never be added because of the fact that Phil Hartman's characters were retired out of respect after he sadly died, or he was sadly murdered. Now, yeah, that's true. We probably won't get any more. We probably won't get any of the Phil Hartman characters, and that is likely the reason as to why we never got Lyle Lanley. But the main reason why I put Lyle Lanley here is because I originally was going to add Darcy's parents, who aren't exactly big characters. But the issue with that is there was all the other new Haverbrook stuff was all kind of monorail related. So I was like, it's going to be really weird if we have a bunch of monorail stuff and then Darcy's parents is the final character. So I've put Lyle Lanley here. Yes, obviously they probably will never add him, but again, a man can dream. So the epilogue, Marge, Wiggum, Lisa, and even Homer tell the mayor that their neighbours ain't so bad, and maybe they should keep the borders open so they can visit them more often. Quimby agrees as long as he can stay mayor. So you make Quimby keep Springfield's borders open, and that will be the end of the event. So let's move on to some tasks. So for Shelby, we've got Shake Harder. At the end of the Lemon and Troy episode, his father tells him to shake harder, and he shakes his fist harder. So that will be it. Go to Pest Bar for 4 hours. Watch cartoons for 6 hours. That will be at his house. Help run the lot for 8 hours. That will be at the Shelbyville lot if you obviously have it. Skate for 12 hours. That will be an animation of him skating around just like Bart does. And guard the border for 24 hours. That will be him. Kind of like, obviously there won't be an animation there, but it will be him at the sign basically. Then you have the Weasels, pull faces for 60 minutes. It will be this kind of thing here. And I think this was their first appearance. But yeah, that'll be an animation. Go to school for 6 hours, obviously at the elementary. Beat up nerds for 8 hours. That would probably be at the elementary as well. Guard Nelson's house for 12 hours animation. So this will be them outside of the house. This Weasel will be drinking a slushie. And this Weasel will have his knife out. And then move to Shelbyville for 24 hours. That will be at the Shelbyville sign. And then we have Horace Wilcox. Shout at protests for 60 minutes. That will be an animation. Demand cuts for 4 hours. That will be possibly at the Capitol building. Shelbyville, the Capital City Capitol building. Steal Quimby's bribes for 6 hours. That will be at the Town Hall. Address the State Assembly for 8 hours. That will be at the State Assembly. Have a heart attack for 12 hours. That will be him having a visual heart attack on the floor. And then filibuster for 24 hours. That will be him probably at the Capitol building as well, doing that filibustering. Obviously, then we have Maxine walk of shame for 60 minutes. Will be her draped in the American flag, kind of walking around. I don't know. I think that could be a funny little animation. I know it's a bit like ha ha ha. She slept with Mr. Burns, but like, I don't know. Fight against fracking for 4 hours. That'll be at the State Assembly. Spend time with Burns for 8 hours. That'll be at Burns' mansion with Burns. Shout at the Assembly for 12 hours. This will be an animation. A little podium will kind of spawn and she'll be kind of screaming and shouting. And then plan a speech for 24 hours. This will be at the capital city's Capitol building. Then we've got Sven. Fix Homer's roof for 60 minutes as an animation. It'll be him on top of Homer's roof, doing exactly that. Drink at Moe's for 4 hours. That'll be at Moe's, obviously. Buy closed signs at the closed sign place. Process barley for 8 hours. obviously the barley processing mill. Help build a wall for 12 hours. This will be him kind of erecting a large wall and kind of hammering at it, which is kind of ironic. They made the immigrants build the wall to keep themselves. That was such a weird episode. It was quite meta, obviously. I mean, it was not like, it wasn't like down to earth commentary or anything, but like, yeah, I don't know. I think that would be a funny little animation. And then work at the barley mill for 24 hours over at the barley mill. And then we have Igna, feed Maggie for 60 minutes as an animation. Her feeding Maggie. That will obviously include Maggie. Serve barley at the Barley Palace for 4 hours. That will obviously be at the Barley Palace. Sell closed signs for 8 hours. That will be the closed sign place. Clean everything for 12 hours. This will be an animation of her literally like walking around your town and then like stopping and cleaning it. And then replace Smithers for 24 hours. That will be over at the Mr. Burns mansion probably, or the nuclear power plant. You have Darcy get married to somebody random, someone random. So it'll be her in a wedding dress. As you can see there as an animation. Go on a date with Jimbo for 4 hours. That will be obviously with Jimbo if you have him somewhere. Avoid parents for 6 hours. That will be at the Brown house. Hang out with Bart for 8 hours. That will be her and Bart at the Simpsons house. Look after child for 12 hours. Animation. To be her holding a little child. And then apply for a marriage license for 24 hours. That will be at the new Haverbrook courthouse. And then finally we got Lyle Landley sing the monorail song for 60 minutes. Animation. It will be him doing just that. Speak at the town hall for 4 hours. Obviously the town hall. Do shady business for 6 hours. That will be at the Lyle Landley monorail's trailer. Dodge angry mobs for 8 hours. That could be probably Brown House. Train new monorail drivers for 12 hours as an animation. So a little board will kind of pick up, kind of spawn. It will be like mono equals 1, rail equals rail. And then serve time for 24 hours. Obviously over at the prison. So that is it for my Springfield's Neighbours event idea. Yeah, I think honestly, like I said before, there really is the potential of them to make a full major event based around Shelbyville, Ogdenville, and Capital City. I think New Haverbrook is a little, it's probably not possible to do it with New Haverbrook unless they really stretch it. But yeah, I really think it's possible to do with Shelbyville, Ogdenville, and Capital City. Quite funny actually is, I don't know if anyone watched it, but anyone who's watched my little Prague major event idea, or my summer, my little 4-foot summer event idea that I did a few weeks back. Initially, I was going to put Little Prague as where New Haverbrook was, but the reason why I didn't is because one, New Haverbrook has appeared multiple times, whereas Little Prague has only really appeared once or even been mentioned once. And also, Little Prague just had so many characters that obviously that all of the friends that Lisa makes, that I was like, there's not enough there to add all of them. And if they were to do Little Prague, I'd want them to add all of the characters. So that is the reason why I've done New Haverbrook instead. But anyway, tell me your thoughts on the event idea, guys. Head over to the Discord to vote on which mini event I shall be doing next week. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me your thoughts and all that, and I shall see you in the next one. Goodbye.